Aren't you just sick of hearing German success stories? They always win the football, they're the first on the beach, and while Britain faces cutbacks and eye-watering debts, just look how well the Germans are doing.
We need, frankly, to have a more Germanic approach.
Employment is at record levels and it's a world-beating exporter. What's more, the Germans earn more than us and work fewer hours.
Cheers, Justin.
So how do they do it? I'm Justin Rolat, a journalist.
You speak English?
And I'm B. Rolat, a writer. And we're on a mission to discover the secret of German success.
It's like kid heaven.
We're taking the kids with us and we're going in.
You want soup? Hold on, you've got lovely food.
I live in North London with my wife B and our 4 children.
We are in a week or so. They have socks in Germany, do they? They probably have, better socks than we've got. There's quite a kind of tradition of, 2 world wars, 1 World Cup, that kind of attitude to Germany and Britain. And I think it'd be quite interesting to see what the Germans think of us. We've obviously suffered terrible industrial decline since the Second World War. The Germans have done, pretty well. They're still a major industrial nation. And it'd be quite interesting to see what they think of Britain.
Put those.
Okay.
Can you put them in there for me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Whoops.
I'm actually half German, but I never grew up there. I grew up in this country. My dad's German, but my parents separated when I was little.
I don't want to be disloyal. There's nothing wrong with being half German, so it's not a problem. But maybe there are a few kind of sort of Teutonic qualities that she has.
I can't believe I'm showing this, but I quite like sitting on the toilet with the door open and I'll just, have a merry exchange with anyone who passes by. And Justin thinks that's really German. I just think that's the way I grew up.
What's also really German is small families. The German birth rate is low and falling, just 1.4 children per couple. So the first step in making us German is to leave our eldest 2, Eva and Zola, at home with Granny.
I'm going to miss them, but it's quite nice to have a break sometimes from all the loudness and everything.
I think it's going to be brilliant and I'm not going to miss them at all.
First off, we need somewhere to live. We've moved to Nuremberg in the heart of Bavaria. It's famous for its gingerbread, its sausages and its Nazi history.
Hello, are you Mrs. Holler?
Yes, yes.
We've rented a flat from Mrs. Holler.
Okay.
We Brits may be obsessed with buying property, but Germans aren't. More than half of them rent compared to just a third of us.
I really like this.
Oh, it's really warm.
And I can see why. Rents are cheap. This 2-bed flat costs €135 a week.
Kinder.
Kinderbett.
Kinderbett.
1 Kinderbett, 2 Kinderbett, 3 Kinderbett.
In Britain, I think we're obsessed with ownership, and here in Germany they seem happy to rent, and they rent for a really long time. She was saying people would stay for 10, 20 years in a rented property. In Britain, there's this real kind of pressure and expectation that if you can, you'll buy. And do you know what? I actually think it seems a lot healthier. It means the Germans don't saddle themselves with huge debts. In Britain, the average family owes £53,000, including mortgages. In Germany, it's just under £30,000. The kids are making themselves at home, and I'm expecting our first German visitor.
Hiya.
Hey, hi, I'm PJ. But
PJ is an advertising guru. His ad agency specialises in knowing exactly what the average German does every minute of every day.
We did quite a lot of research on how the typical German lives, actually.
Yeah.
I brought you some things to learn about typical German in this area.
Und damit auch die Durchschnittsdeutschen.
And according to the film, the typical German is called Müller, the nation's most common surname, and lives in a 1970s apartment block.
Müller.
Like this. A flat just like ours.
That's the...
Mutter Sabine Müller.
Sabina is the most common female name, so that's me.
And here's me. Thomas Müller is the most common male name.
Das ist der häufigste deutsche Männervorname.
The Müllers only have one child, unlike us.
Hat die deutsche Durchschnittsfamilie also eher einen Sohn.
Germans certainly get up early, 20 minutes earlier than the average Brit.
Auf den Boden knallt.
Let's talk about tomorrow morning. Okay, are you prepared to go a bit earlier than usual? I don't know. 6:23.
6:23.
That
is early.
That's when you have to get up. And then the good thing is you can take a bit of time in the bathroom.
Doch was machen
The
wir,
video
wenn
goes
wir
into
sehr
extraordinary
früh aufstehen?
detail.
Na klar.
No surprise that I pee standing up, but then I sit down and read the sports section of the paper. German men sit on the loo for twice as long as German women. And when it comes to loo paper, the Germans are folders, not crumplers. In fact, I get 24.6 minutes in the bathroom.
I get to sleep a bit longer and spend 28.1 minutes in the bathroom.
Sie haben richtig gehört.
With two little children being in the family and not in school, the typical German wife would not go to work actually.
Really?
Yeah. Spend time at home with the kids, doing housework. Also to teach the kids proper table manners.
That's important to Germans, is it?
That is valued highly actually. Yeah. There's a certain amount of good behavior and how you do things in a certain structure and order. Still is very important.
PJ gives us a German rule book which he wants us to follow. A checklist telling us everything from the amount of housework to our daily pork intake.
I just don't believe that most women want to do 4 hours and 11 minutes of cooking, washing and cleaning. But I'll give it a go. I'll definitely try it. I'm going to do my best.
It doesn't
you
look
know.
fair though, does it?
It doesn't. You get to sleep and then you get to go out and eat loads of potato, pork, white cheese.
Listen, you get the same
I get
potato.
brown bread and you get white bread.
But you get the same amount of pork, same amount of potatoes, and the same amount of beer as me. I mean, that's very...
Right. But your life looks normal. To me, that just doesn't look like a normal life. But that could be that, I'm not typical. I don't know.
Half an hour in
Maybe
the bathroom
I will
is a
love
long
it.
time, isn't it? We've rented an average German car. A VW Golf is right there, bang in the middle of what the Germans would drive. It's kind of rock solid, it's not flash, but it's kind of well made. And of course they buy German, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Germany has one of the most successful car industries in the world. And here, success certainly starts at home. 2/3 of all the cars on the road are German. The wild things, William. Like the Müllers, after our daily limit of 0.27 litres of beer, we're tucked up in bed at exactly 11:15 for a bit of average German sleep. I'm working to German timetables now.
I reckon that was 7 minutes, 8 minutes maybe. Nothing more than that. I don't know what they're doing there. What are they doing for 20 minutes? We're going to get some pork products going.
I've got to eat 1.1 kilos of pork a week.
I've managed to find Elsa, who's 6, a place in a Waldkindergarten just outside Nuremberg. It's a forest kindergarten, a particularly German approach to education.
I think we're going to be about a quarter of an hour late. I hope it's going to be acceptable in a German kindergarten.
One thing German success is not based on is hot housing young children. German kids don't even have to go to school until they're 6. Ours are mostly in class by 4.
Weiß auch schon jemand, wie das Kind heißt? Die Anna weiß es. Elfa, so ähnlich. Elsa.
And what time do the children arrive?
Ja, ab 8 Uhr.
From 8 o'clock? So they arrive at 8 o'clock?
Ja.
So they have lunch here?
Ja.
And it's all outside? Alles ist draußen?
Ja, genau.
There are no primary school SATs here. Children spend the day out in the forest, whatever the weather, and even go to the toilet in the woods. Toys are banned, and children create their own games and interact with nature.
This is just great for Elsa. She won't want to go back to a normal centrally heated classroom. I love it. A tree full of children. It's fantastic. It's like kid heaven. How much does it cost for a child to come to Wald Kindergarten?
The price in the month is 159 euros.
Every day, coming every day. That's, for a British person, that's astonishingly cheap. That's a fraction of what we pay for private nursery fees.
That's just over £25 a week. I'm beginning to see a definite upside to life here.